So this is my third take for the second time I'm trying to film this, because the first time I tried to film this second take, I somehow didn't know how to speak. The second time, which is before this recording, I realized my mic was not plugged in, so I was like, hell nah, I have to redo it, because the image quality can be crappy but audio cannot be crappy. So I had to redo it because I can't stand crappy audio. So here's version 2, take 3. So hi people, hi. If you're new around here, my name is Zee and I run this YouTube channel. But if you're not new around here, welcome back to all the coffee-fueled ramblings about whatever I want to talk about. And as you can see by the title, in today's video, we're gonna go through my haul, some bits and bobs I got from Yesstyle and Juvia's place, as well as the haul that I made or I did while I was in Australia. So we're gonna start off with the smaller stuff first, which is the Juvia's place stuff, as well as the Yesstyle stuff. So let's get into it. So before I get into the Juvia's place stuff, everything that I'm wearing right now will be listed down below if I can find links to it. My shirt is from Uniqlo and then my hijab is from TudungPeople. So if I can find the link to this stuff, I will link it down below. If not, then well, yeah. And I'm not wearing any makeup because technically I'm sick. I have been sick for the last 2 weeks since coming back from Australia, so it's been rough. It has been a rough 2 weeks, and today I decided finally I'm going to take sick leave because like if I were to continue on, my body's going to break and I can't do that, and next week I'm on call. So yeah, now let's move on to the Juvia's place stuff that I got. So for the Juvia's place stuff, I got 2 eyeshadow palettes. I have a third one that I will also share, but it's not really part of this haul because I got the third palette in an earlier order. So I will still mention it, but I won't show you physically the product. So let's start off with the number 1 eyeshadow palette that I want to get from Juvia's place, hence why I made the order. And that is the coffee shop palette. So this palette was the reason why I wanted to get it was because ColourPop released something similar, and this is what that ColourPop palette looks like. And then if I were to show you the coffee shop palette, as you can see, it's a very similar color story. So I wanted to compare the two, and yeah, I like both the quality of Juvia's place eyeshadow palette as well as ColourPop shadows, and I just wanted to see like the difference between the two and just have more options. So yeah, this is my number 1 pick in the new eyeshadow palette range that they've released. And yeah, there's the coffee shop eyeshadow palette from Juvia's place. Next palette that I wanted to get from Juvia's place, I've been trying to dabble in more like color, because when I first started like doing makeup on social media, I felt this intense pressure to do more colorful stuff because that is what got the most views, at least in the beginning. But now I'm just like, I want color just because I'm interested in trying color, and that's why I got this palette. So the palette I got is the flower shop palette. Sorry, not the flower shop, the candy shop palette, as it says here. It's the candy shop palette. So the candy shop palette, the reason why I am like interested in getting it is because number 1 is all colors that I definitely see myself wearing, and it's also mid-tone colors. Like it's not pastel and it's not deep dark colorful colors, as if you get what I mean. So I feel more comfortable experimenting with these colors and like see what looks I can pull out of it. Most of the time I think I'll probably come out with very basic ass looks, but you know, I still want to dabble my finger in like color, and so I find that this is a very like good place to start. It still feels safe while still feeling adventurous. So yeah, that's the candy shop palette. Now, last palette that I said I was gonna mention, but I'm not gonna like show you all physically that I have it, but I promise you I do. It's the flower shop palette, and this is what the flower shop palette looks like. The main reason why I got this, because just for context, this is my last pick palette out of the 3 that Juvia's place palettes that I got recently. This is my like 3rd pick. The reason being is it's all pastel colors, and as you can see, I am like light medium skin tone. Pastel doesn't really like pop on my skin tone. It just looks kind of ashy, especially if it's not done right. but I have faith in Juvia's Place eyeshadow palette and eyeshadow quality. So I was like, you know what? It has colors that I enjoy. Typically, especially if you're a K-pop fan, you know, the Pearl Aqua, the Shiny Fandom color, the Shawl color. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna try it out. So I got the Flower Shop palette. So that's it for my Juvia's mini haul. Let's move on to stuff I got from Yesstyle. So I got two like makeup products from Yesstyle. One of the two is like several products, like there's several shades of it. So, but in essence, it's still just two makeup products. So I'm just gonna say it's two makeup products. The first one, I don't have it on hand with me because for some reason I always forget to have it on hand for this video. So the first thing that I got is the Kill Cover Founwear New Cushion Foundation from Clio. This is what it looks like. It's the cushion foundation that they released when they were collaborating with Stray Kids. And surprisingly, like there wasn't a lot of like, or at least in my opinion, in my realm, or maybe I wasn't I wasn't paying much attention to it, but there weren't a lot of reviews, at least from what I could tell, when this foundation released, due to the controversy surrounding like the whole collaboration between Clio and Stray Kids. It was a whole thing. So this foundation was only out for a very short while, and it was a very hard thing to get after they stopped the collaboration. So yeah, and for me, I still wanted to get it because Clio cushion foundations and foundations in general have always been very good, and I've always had decent to kind of good luck with Clio foundation. So I wanted to still give it a go, and finally I managed to get it on Yesstyle for a really good deal. It was like under 30 Singaporean dollars for this cushion plus the refill. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get it. Plus the packaging is like navy blue, gunmetal kind of blue. Obviously I'm gonna get it, it's blue, duh. So yeah, that's the first thing I got from Yesstyle. And then the next thing I got is something from Black Rouge. So for some context, I've known about Black Rouge since about like maybe 2014. They came up with this like lip product in this packaging that I'm showing you here right here. And I was like, oh my god, I really want that lip product. But then I thought about it for like a couple of months. I was like thinking, a lot of the lip products in the K-beauty scene are more or less the same, with the more or less the same color story. So I'm literally gonna be paying like 15 something odd like Singaporean dollars just for the packaging of this lipstick or like this lip product. And I was like, I can't justify spending money for just for that, you know. So several years has passed since then, and they finally came out with a product in which I'm interested enough in getting, and that is the, what is it called, Drop Eyes Stick Glitz. So this is what one of the, I have 4 shades right here, and this is what the packaging looks like. As you can see, it's a metallic, and then that's the name. I hope you can see the name. It's pretty reflective. Yeah, I got 4 different shades because I wanted to use these shades as like the under the, what's it called, the lower lash line, kind of like aegyo style highlighting sticks. I'll show you the promo photos or the demo photos right here. It's supposed to be like this really super high shine, super glittery, super sparkly kind of eyeshadow glitter stick, and like they just look really promising, so I wanted to give them a go. Let's start off with the first shade, which is the most normal shade, and that is the shade DO3 Fairy Glitz. So Fairy Glitz is a champagne gold color, as you can see, and then if you look at the shape of the packaging or like the product itself, it has this like mid-sized teardrop shape. So it's in like a similar size as a standard eyeshadow stick, but it comes in this very interesting teardrop shape. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to give this a go. This is the first color I got, and probably will be the most rich color because it's the most normal color. The next color I got is DO4. Now this is called Petal Glitz, and as you can see, the color is pink. So the eyeshadow stick inside is actually like this icy cool tone pink kind of glitter shadow stick. I wanted to get this more so for like more my pinkier and cool tone based looks. Next one is called DO5. This is Aurora Glitz. Now this is the most unique color or shade that I got. It's like this lilac-y, icy mid-tone, but not really, like in between light and mid-tone kind of shade. And I wanted to get this simply because of its unique color story. I figured this would be the shade that I would go for an actual like on the lid look, and not so much like an aegyo style highlighting kind of shade. So I got this. And then last but not least is mainly like for a lid shade, for like a glitter topper, and that is the last shade. This is D06 in Infinite Glitz. Now this is like, even though the packaging is like deep bronze or like a rust color, this is more of a standard mid-tone like golden bronze kind of shade. So yeah, this is more so for the times that I want to use this as like maybe just an all over shadow or like a glittery eyeshadow topper. So that's the Drop Ice Stick Glitz from Black Rouge. And now we're gonna move on into the stuff that I got while I was in Australia. So I had a game plan before going to Australia about what I wanted to get, because if you saw my I'm Back video, I am very bad with my finances. Like, it's just a thing. I knew I had to form a game plan when I go to Australia because I can't spend so much money. I'm going to Korea and my finances are shit. So I was like, okay, I need a game plan. What do you want to get? So my game plan for what I wanted in Australia is number one, Chi Chi Cosmetics. Specifically their perfumes, because I'm a big fan of Shannon Harris, Shannon XO. Here's her photo. She runs XO Beauty. She's a New Zealander beauty YouTuber. Been watching her since I was 15. And like, I fell in love with Chi Chi. I have a few of her products already. I fell in love with Chi Chi because of her. And their perfumes, I can't ship to Singapore because they're perfumes. And you can't, like, I still haven't found a way. I'm not very like good at shit like that. I haven't found a way to get them to be shipped to Singapore. So I was like, I need to get Chi Chi perfumes. That's number one. And then Chi Chi products, the shipping fee is just like crazy. So I very rarely ever buy stuff from Chi Chi because of how bad or how expensive the shipping is. I mean, I don't blame, because they are like pretty, like they're a continent and a country in and of itself. So obviously it's gonna be expensive to export from the country. I get it. I'm from Singapore. Shipping fees are crazy when I want to get things shipped to here, so I get it. But if I can, I want to get as many stuff as I can from Chi Chi while I'm in Australia. Moving on from that, the second part of my game plan is that, okay, now that I've moved the Chi Chi stuff aside, what else do I want to get? Brands that I cannot get in Singapore or is too expensive to be shipped to Singapore. Mainly LYS Beauty and Makeup by Mario and Milk Makeup. So those were the brands that I was aiming for when I go into Australia and to see what I can get. Come Australia trip, this is what I got. So let's start off with the Chi Chi products. As I mentioned, I was like on the hunt for their perfumes and I got 4 of them, but in this video I'll only show 3 because I broke one of them last night. No, sorry, a few days ago. I broke one of them a few days ago. And that particular perfume is the Floral Musk perfume. Here is what I got, and here is the actual like full-size bottle. And it was also my most favorite scent. And I broke it because I dropped like the mini size on the floor. It was a glass container and it just shattered. And I was like, yeah. So that's the story. I got 3 different scents, and here are all the 3 scents. I will put in the description box the notes for all the scents because they were on the packaging, like the box that they came in, but I just threw away all the boxes already in the recycling bin. So yeah. Anyway, we'll start off the first scent that I got, and that is called Floral Cashmere. This is what the Chi Chi perfume bottles look like. It's very like good quality, and I got this for I think 20 or about 23 Australian dollars, which is roughly around the same price Singapore dollars. It's really high quality for the price. Like, it's a nice weighty glass bottle. It's very sturdy, and like the smell, I managed to like have a whiff of all of them while I was in store, and they all smell really, really good. So first one is Floral Cashmere. It's in a peach packaging. Ooh, speaking about the packaging, I also appreciate how they're all like different colors. So just from the sight of it alone, like just by looking at it, you know that it's a different scent rather than everything being in like the same kind of like color. So yeah, the next one I'm holding, this pink one, is called Warm Vanilla Sugar, and this is what it looks like. And then last but not least, in the red packaging is called Flower Power. Now this, out of the 4 that I've gotten, this is my least favorite scent, simply because in the last couple of years I've been really into buying perfumes, and the scent of this gives me the vibe of like it's a more suitable scent for winter / colder temperature like countries, because it's that kind of scent that in the heat it will evaporate a little bit too fast and a little bit too strong, and it will be very overpowering. That's how I felt when I smelled this in store, and it was winter in Australia, like it's still currently winter in Australia. So just by the scent in store alone during that time frame, I could already tell that this would not be a hot / summer country kind of perfume, but it was still nice enough of a scent that I still wanted to try this, so I got it. So yeah, now we're gonna move on to some makeup stuff from Chi. Now a lot of their like original stuff that I grew up like watching and wanted to get, because you know it's like my childhood kind of desire kind of thing. A lot of it is now discontinued. The number one that I'm so disappointed that is discontinued is like their baked eyeshadow singles. This is what they used to look like. They stopped making it for quite a few years, and I'm so bummed because I never got to actually try them out before they got discontinued, so that kind of sucked. Another thing that they discontinued and kind of like remarketed or like repackaged and reformulated is their blush trios. So this is what the Chi blush trios used to look like. Now they are blush duos, and I have 3 different color stories, so let's get into them now. So the thing about the blush duos from Chi Cosmetics, if you were to see them on their website, is that they are actually a lot deeper than what you see on the website, at least in my opinion. So I'm gonna start off with the darkest 2 shades that I initially didn't get. I got it the second time I managed to find Chi. So because I found them the second time, I was like, you know what, heck it, I'm just gonna get it. And those 2 shades are the first one is Pink Terracotta. As you can see, it's actually quite deep, and then the other one is called Dusty Rose. So as you can see, this is like really deep shades. When I first saw them, I was like, oh no, these are too deep. I really like these kind of shades, or like the color, but the actual tone of it is like quite deep. But I was like thinking it'll be a while before I go back to Australia, and might as well just try it out. So yeah, they have shade descriptions for this on the back of the box, but once again I've already recycled the boxes, so I'll put it in the description down below for each of the color story, like the descriptions of the colors for the blush duos. So the one I'm holding up right now is called Dusty Rose, and they have 2 different shades. One is satin, which means that it has some shimmer in it, but it's not as intense as their shimmer blushes. If I'm not wrong, for the Dusty Rose, the darker one is a satin, and then the lighter one is like a shimmer kind of blush. So the next one is Pink Terracotta, and then one's a matte, the darker one's a matte, and then the lighter one is a shimmer. I don't know if you can see the shimmer, I hope you can, but yeah, so that's the Pink Terracotta one. And then the one that I got when I first found Chi is called the Pink Corals Cheeky Blush Duo. Now this is what it looks like. This I would say is the most similar to NARS Orgasm, which by the way, I don't understand the hype around NARS Orgasm from back then till now. I still don't understand it, because it was just a blush that had no pigment. It was basically just a glitter mess with a little bit of like peachy pink to it. And till this day, I never order anything that is NARS Orgasm shade ever. But yeah, I got the Pink Corals because I would say this is the tone that I normally would be comfortable wearing. So yeah, those are the 3 color stories that I got in the blush duos. The next thing that I got from Chi is a bronzer highlighting kind of duo thing, and this thing is called the Bronze and Glow. Fair to Light is the shade. The main reason why I got this was because I was in Australia, and I was like, I'm already here, and I don't want to be spending money on shipping fee just to get this one product, so might as well just get it while I'm here. And this is what it looks like. So the bronze / contour shade is bigger than the highlighting shade, and yeah, there's nothing much to say about this. It's just that I got it. So yeah, now the last thing, no, I have about 3 more things to talk about from Chi Chi Cosmetics. The next thing is their loose powder foundation. So this is the loose powder foundation, and mine is in the shade Fair. To be honest, I was wanting to get the shade Translucent, but then when I saw it in store, it was like a pure white kind of like loose powder, and I have pretty bad experiences with like translucent white loose powder, simply because the ones that I used to get were from Korean brands, and they always had a white cast, or they were always too dry, because a lot of times they are also like sebum powders, meaning that they are like oil controlling powders, and I just never, I always have a like kind of like a phobia whenever I see translucent powders that are white, so I didn't want that. So the next best thing was their Fair shade. I honestly did thought that it was more of a tinted setting powder or tinted finishing powder. Only after I bought it, then I realized it was like a loose powder foundation. But I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I still can use it as a loose powder if I use it with a loose brush and a light hand. So I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. So yes, their loose powder foundation. The next thing I got is a impulse buy. Just like the Bronze and Glow, like bronzing highlighting duo thing, this was also like, I don't want to spend on the shipping fee just to get this one product, and since it's also on sale, might as well get it, and like it's in the color story that I do really enjoy, so I got it. And that is the Chi Chi Socialite palette in gold edition. I don't know why it's called the gold edition, but basically it's the Socialite palette, and this is a color story that I'm currently very much obsessed with, which is this. It's like this mauvey, pinky, neutral kind of color story. Think of like what color story? Think of like Makeup Revolution, Forever Flawless Allure, which is, this is what it looks like. Think of Naked Cherry. Oh my gosh, I still want to try Naked Cherry, even though I know they don't make it anymore, but I still want to try it. So I really like that color story, and yeah, I got this palette, and it was like what, 26, 25 Australian dollars. It was such a major steal, because I think originally this is like 40, rounding up 40 Australian dollars. I'm like, that's about almost half price, so I got it. Yeah. And then last but not least is one of my favorite products from Chi Chi Cosmetics. It is their Viva La Diva lipsticks, and I got 2 new shades. While I was in Australia, I wore the shade Downtown Girl. This is what it looks like, and I really like their Viva La Diva lipsticks, especially the ones in a matte formulation. And I was like, I really need to get more shades because I'm in Australia and I can finally swatch the shades, because there's so many shades that I find that if I were to buy online, I'm scared that I will get a shade that I won't like. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Australia, I'm gonna swatch them, I'm gonna get the colors that I like. So I got 2. The first one that I'm gonna show you is called OM Nude. This is what it looks like. It's a color story that, honestly saying, I don't normally reach for, but when I swatched it in store, it was actually like still doable, and I'm really into experimenting with lip liners as of right now. So I figured like if I paired it with the right lip liner, this will look amazeballs. This is, I would say, like a true neutral pink or neutral mauvey with a hint of warmth, so that's why I'm okay with like buying this shade. Normally I wouldn't, because I tried this shade once before when BH Cosmetics was still a thing, and it just seemed too like mauvey pink, which does not work on my skin tone and my teeth color. But this, swatching in store on my hand, because my hand is like very yellow, it seemed okay, so I'm gonna try it. The next one is like one of my favorite shades, but in like a deeper, more saturated kind of tone, and that is in the shade Wild Child. Now as you can see, it's like this pinky brownie kind of shade, pinky brownie nude. Okay, it's not so much a nude, but it's definitely like that pink brown with a hint of warm, and I really love this shade, and it was like a deeper version of a lot of the shades that I wear. So it's like, yes, and it's in a matte formulation if I'm not wrong. I don't remember, but I think this is a matte formula, so I'm like, yes, I'm getting it, and it looked so good in store. I got it, so I got it. So yeah, and that is all yeah, that's about it that I got from Chi Chi. So let's move on to the stuff that I got from Mecca as well as from Sephora Australia. So we're gonna start off with the stuff that I got from Sephora Australia, namely because I wanted to get the LYS as well as Makeup by Mario stuff and Milk Makeup stuff, because those three brands are not available in Singapore, and it's like, especially the Makeup by Mario, I'm not gonna pay shipping to get Makeup by Mario. So I wanted to, and plus I wanted to see like the shades, I want to see them on my hand, and quite literally online and in store, everything from the Makeup by Mario, like the viral stuff, everything from the Makeup by Mario line was just out of stock, gone. And I'm like, yeah. So moving on from there, I was like, okay, let's try the Milk Makeup stuff. Also, everything in my shade is out of stock, so I'm like, So I moved on to LYS. And the best part about LYS in Sephora Australia is that they don't have their own dedicated space. Meaning like they had that one little shelf with all the LYS products. It's just one small shelf available for LYS products. And whatever that you see online is not all of it is available in store, and not all the shades are available in store. So whatever that was in my shade, because obviously my shade is pretty common, all of it was out of stock, and a lot of the stuff that is still in stock is not carried in store. So I didn't get anything from those three brands except for maybe one item, and it wasn't even an item that I wanted to get. Like, it's not part of like my list of like, yeah, I want to get this. It's just like, oh, it's available, I'm just gonna get it kind of deal, you know. So yeah, let's get into the stuff. And the only product I managed to score from LYS is their, what's it called? No Limits cream bronzer stick in the shade Harmony. Now, this, did I? Yep, I dented it. But anyway, it's brand new, thank God. I didn't expect Australia to have this problem, side note, of people opening up makeup and using it as testers. You know, like that problem the US has, or like a lot of places have, in which the makeup is not sealed. So instead of using the testers provided, people open new bottles, and basically the whole display became a tester site, so no one can buy anything eventually. Australia apparently has the same problem as well. But anyway, yeah, so I found this like No Limits cream bronzer stick at that area in front of the Sephora payment counter, in front of the cashier, in which is all the like travel sizes and like mini sizes. Yeah, I found this like unused cream contour cream bronzer stick in that area, and I'm like, you know what, it's here, I'm just gonna get it. And it was, thankfully I got it, because everything else from LYS was just out of stock. So yeah, I got the cream bronzer stick. And then the next thing I got was something that has been in my cart for I think close to 6 months at this point, and I keep holding off on buying it because I'm like, I can't afford, I can't afford paying God knows how much for this in shipping, or like in just buying it in general. Like, I just kept holding it off because it wasn't a necessity buy, it was just like a want type of buy. And that is the Nude Sticks like mini blush trio, and this is what it looks like. I forgot the name of it, I'll put it on the screen, but this is like the blush trio that I got. Here's the photo of like the promo photos, or like the marketing photos. The three shades in this particular set is Naughty and Spice. I think this is Naughty and Spice, and then we got Bareback. This is Bareback. The last one is called Cherie. So I really wanted to get this because the color stories, as you can see here, looks really nice, and it's all the colors that I would wear on a regular basis. And I'm really into cream blushes. Since Rare Beauty came up with their like liquid blush, I've been really into cream blush, and yeah, so I wanted to try it, and they have it in store, and I was like, wow, they have it in store. You will never find that in Singapore. Unless they are having like their Christmas sale, then they'll have more of the sets in store for people to look at and try before they buy. But a lot of like the sets that come out like throughout the year, they won't really have it in store unless it's like a really hyped up thing. So yeah. And then the last thing I got from Sephora is the Beauty Blender Bounce Skin Tint. Now, the main reason why I got this was because I saw this while I was in Saudi Arabia earlier in January, February, and I hesitated on getting it because I'm like, I don't really care much for skin tints and things of that sort. I got the concealer instead, but like when I was in Australia, I saw this and I saw the newly repackaged, I don't know whether it's reformulated, but I know definitely it's newly repackaged Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation, and I'm like, you know what? Since this is newer than the Bounce Foundation, I'm gonna try this instead because I do really like the Bounce Foundation. Albeit now for my new makeup style, I find it a little bit too like heavy and cakey. But I still do enjoy the foundation. I just that because I prefer traveling to colder countries, that kind of formulation of foundation tends to look a little too heavy. So yeah, I wanted to try the skin tint. Now we're gonna move on to the stuff I got from Mecca. So for Mecca, there was quite a few brands that I was looking at when I was thinking of getting stuff from Mecca. Number one being Morphe. I know they have Morphe stores in Australia, but like I just wanted everything to be under like one shop or one roof so I can just buy everything in one go. So I was looking at stuff from Morphe. I was also looking at stuff from like Charlotte Tilbury, Too Faced, NARS, specifically Kylie as well, and YSL. But all of these brands, I kind of was like, because once I finally saw all the stuff that I was like interested in stores in Mecca Cosmetics, like the shop front, I realized they're kind of all like mid and very meh and very like, they look more exciting online than they do in store. So I was like, a lot of the things that I plan to get, such as like the Mauve palette from Kylie as well and the Bronze palette from Kylie, I skipped out on getting. I didn't get a lot of like the Morphe eyeshadow palettes either. I was looking at Lavender and the 35 Mirror palette. All of them were just eventually. And then on top of that, like the Too Faced stuff was kind of too. The NARS stuff that I wanted weren't in stores, so I ended up just getting stuff that was hard to get in Singapore. Once again, it's just stuff that is interesting enough to me, or it's hard to get in Singapore, or I've had it in my wishlist for like more than 6 months. So here are the products. The first one being a very OG product. So if you've been on beauty YouTube since like 2013, this is like the OG beauty YouTuber holy grail concealer, and that is the MAC Pro Longwear. So this, as you all know, is like a cult favorite. This has been around on beauty YouTube since the dawn of beauty YouTube, and I finally managed to get one for myself. I don't know why it's taken me this long. I guess because as I became more into makeup, the pump style just became a little bit too finicky for me. But now I'm just like, you know what? You've been wanting it for a while, so let's get it. So I got it. I got mine in shade NC20. However, I find NC20 a little bit too light, but it's still workable, but it's very like brightening, you know. So yeah, MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. The next thing I got is from Juvia. So Juvia is a brand that Nikki Tutorials really likes. The concealer, the Essential High Coverage Concealer from Juvia, I bought because of Nikki Tutorials. So obviously I want to get the foundation that is in that line as well, which is the Essentials High Coverage foundation. So I finally got my hands on this. I was deciding between the shade Fawn, Cashmere and Cameo. I ruled out Fawn like way before I like reached Australia because it's too light for me. And then when I reached the store and I finally like decided, you know what I'm getting, because I was debating on whether buying this or not, because I already have so many foundations that I have not even opened yet. And I'm like, do I really need a new foundation? But then I was like, I'm already in Australia and it's so hard to get Juvia outside of like Juvia shipped to Singapore, or like getting any of Juvia stuff. So you're in Australia, just get it. So I got it, and then Cashmere was just too orangey yellow, not like a true blonde yellow. So I was like, nah. And I settled on Cameo because Cameo is more like neutral yellow or like beige yellow versus like orange yellow. So yeah, Essential High Coverage Essential High Coverage Foundation from Juvia. Next one, I got another thing from Juvia, and I was like not planning to get this, but I was just looking at it and I was like thinking it's in my beauty bay wish list for like the last year or the last 2 years. Do I want to get it? It kind of looks meh. And then the staff came over and was like, oh my gosh, it's actually my favorite. I really love the peachy orange color. I'm like, oh yeah, you really like that? Okay, I'm getting it, because I felt pressure and I felt like I didn't want to say no to the guy. So yeah, I got this, and it is the mini blush bouquet blush duo in rose gold. I think it's the mini blush bouquet, I think, but yeah, it's in rose gold, and this is what it looks like. The darker shade is called marigold, the lighter shade is called rose petal, and I'm like, you know what, I'm happy I got it. I can finally like take it off my wish list. So yeah, blush duo from Juvia, and now we're gonna move on into the Kosas stuff. I actually wanted to get some Kosas stuff, mainly their bronzer, because I didn't care much for the Cloud Set powder. I prefer loose powders, and a lot of the complaints about the Cloud Set powder from Kosas is that it feels like you're not setting your product with how like light and airy and like just lightweight in general the product is, and I'm like, that's not really my vibe. So I was only interested in the bronzer, but then I swatched it and realized it was glittery. It is not glittery and shimmery. It is not glowy. Like, it's kind of glowy, but it also has shimmer in it. I'm like, if there was one thing that I do not want in my face products, it would be glitter. Minus like, let's say, the highlighter, because I can use that as an eyeshadow. But yeah, in general, I hate glitter in any of my face products, so I didn't get the bronzer. But I was just like, I kept going back and forth with Kosas stuff. I'm like, this is an it brand right now, and like, if I want to get Kosas stuff after I leave Australia, it's gonna be even more expensive. So I better make my decision now. So I got their concealer and foundation. So yeah, you know how their concealer and foundation is really viral right now. So yeah, I got this. This is the Revealer Skin Improving Foundation from Kosas. I got mine in 240 medium warm. And then I got their, what's this called? I don't know what it's called. Super Creamy Brightening Concealer in the shade 4.5N. Now this has been all over social media. I normally don't really like a hydrating foundation, but since I like to travel to cold countries, I figured it'll be nice to have something like this. So I got these to try, and then I have one more makeup product to share before I end this video, and this is like an impulse buy as well. So the product I'm talking about is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Plumping Tinted Serum. Now, I've been wanting this since last year, since it came out. People were raving about this all over beauty YouTube and all over beauty social media. They were saying about how good this is, and I've been trying to get it, but my shade, which is 2 to 3 light, as you can see, 2 to 3 light, has always been out of stock every freaking where, and I'm just, yeah, I finally got it. And fun story about this was the fact that when I first found this and I picked one bottle up, something in my gut told me to check the bottle. So I opened the bottle and I realized that the rim was all messy, even though the bottle didn't look messy, but the rim was all messy. And I realized someone has used it as a tester. Luckily, I checked before I paid for this, and I found a bottle that had been sitting and was just slightly separated, which meant that no one has used it. And I got the second bottle and not the first bottle that I picked off the shelf. And I checked to make sure like the rim was all clean, and it was. And I prevented myself from possibly getting a skin infection from a used makeup foundation. So yeah, fun story about this product. And yeah, that's all for my haul that I bought in Australia. So let's get into an outro now, because I haven't done an outro in so freaking long. So let's get into the outro. Okay, so for this outro, it's gonna be a really short one, because I think in total I'm not going to be able to cut down a lot of what I said in this video. So it's gonna be another 40-minute long video because I can't help myself. So I'm gonna keep the outro sweet and short. We're gonna talk about K-pop idol of the moment. I can't really say this group that I'm about to talk about is a K-pop idol, but they are promoting in Korea currently, and it's the girl group XG. I tried really hard not to like them. There was something about them. I was like, kind of like, something feels a little bit like the initial vibe I got from them was like, I don't really like them, but they made such good music that I couldn't help but be interested, and I like listened to their debut song Mascara, and I'm like, okay, I'm sold. They made really good music, and I can't, like, I'm gonna not listen to my gut regarding the initial vibe that I got from the group. And since then, I've been like a diehard fan of XG. Their live performances are top notch. It's like, it's just they have such a personality, and like this magnetism and charisma on stage that is very lacking in the K-pop scene, in my opinion, compared to previous generations. So yeah, I'm a really big fan of them, and go listen to their new song Girl Gang. It's straight fire. Simon from Dalmatian, if you guys know, you know, he did a great job producing their music and a great job mentoring them, and like it's really fun to see Simon again, because like they were my group for a short while in 2013. They made really good music before shit happened with their group. If you know, you know. But anyway, stream or like listen to Girl Gang. It's really good. XG, hope you guys do well. So yeah, that's it for my video. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope this video is successful and I managed to cut it down to maybe 30 minutes. I talk too much, guys. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's it for my video. I hope you guys like it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Mostly Twitter because I post a lot of stuff on Twitter. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time in my next video. Bye guys!